All right, call hello, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakwadash, a double honesty, apostles and elders, a great millstone. Salutation to you, brothers that's pushing his words of sincerity and truth. All right, so here's the video. Um, as you can see on the screen, blacklistednews.com is a website. The source is grants almost daily. All right, and you go into this website, it goes into like financial news, forecasts. As you see, it has different things. It's like a subscription based service or whatever. But just if you wanted to go into the finances of this country, because the finances of this country, okay, is really important. You can see trends, forecast. All right, and basically America's finished, man. Okay, Babylon the Great is finished. All right, on all levels. Okay, now you've created a system in which commodities, and then you have different services that are needed. All right, to cultivate farms in America. The cost is going up. You know, to get your commodities to market, it costs money. So the price that is costing them to get that to market, all right, is basically outweighing the benefits. All right, so now you're seeing the American farmers on verge of disaster. All right, and this is a thing in the making, because the scriptures have to be fulfilled where it speaks about a famine. All right, so this article is written April 3rd, 2019. It says, grants almost daily. It says, it's been a tough road for the U.S. farming industry, which is seemingly beset on all sides. Agricultural commodity prices remain low, with spot corn and soybean currently fetching $3.62 and $8.99 per bushel, respectively, each roughly 22% below their respective 10-year average prices. Meanwhile, the outgoing Sino-American trade war continues to crimp overseas demand, as the United States Department of Agriculture reports that soybean deliveries to China fell more than 80% year over year since September. That helped push soybean stocks to a record 3.7 billion bushels as of year in 2018. All right, so basically this is getting into the effects that different trade wars have on the price of these agricultural commodities. All right, which is basically squeezing farmers in America and basically putting them out of business, because it costs money to maintain a farm. You have to have machinery, electricity. Okay, then you have to pay. Because a lot of times you finance that stuff. Okay, and it's all having this effect on this economy. And ultimately, we know what this is going to lead to. This has to lead to the famine that the scriptures talk about. Okay, and not to mention famine, but you're going to have pestilence in the earth too. Okay, and we're all going to, Lord's will, convey it to brothers through this video. Okay. Now it says, by the same token, the USDA forecast Friday that corn plantings will rise 4.1% in 2019 and to 92.8 million this year, an unwelcoming development considering that America's silos are already bulging with the grain. Okay, so you got a lot of grain being grown. Okay, and they say it's bulging out the silos, but we're coming into a time where the scriptures talk about the storehouses shall be empty. The storehouses shall be empty, because we're coming into that time. All right. It says devastating floods have afflicted large swaths of the Midwest during the heart of spring planting season. So you had floods during the time of spring planting. So that's a effect. The Most High did that. Okay, you figure that out in Isaiah the 29th chapter in the 13th verse. All right, the floods, all of this, the water. Okay, and tornadoes are going to take place. We're in tornado season. All right, so a lot of things is going to go into the American farmers on verge of disaster. All right, so this goes into the numbers, and you see this. This is all farms index prices paid versus prices received. All right, so and it points out specific states. All right, this article goes into specific states that are being affected. See, just because we live on the East Coast, don't mean that these things don't matter. This is what people don't believe. People fail to realize these things that's happening in Wisconsin, Minnesota, okay, South Dakota, Montana, okay, these things that are happening in these areas, okay, are ultimately going to affect the people on the East Coast. All right. It says things are particularly grim in Minnesota and surrounding states. The Minneapolis Fed reports that in-state farmers have seen total input costs for seed, fertilizer, pesticide, fuel, and electricity rise by 50%. So their prices that they're spending on their seeds, fertilizer, pesticides, fuel, electricity, these prices are rising. All right, since they rise 50% since 2006, after adjusting for CPI measure inflation. As a result, Minnesota farmers report real median income of $26,055 a year. Dang. Okay, last year, down 8% from 2017, and the figure the lowest since the early 1980s. Okay, so it's basically not really profitable to be a farmer. All right, which is going to lead to production to slow down, and then you're going to have major corporations coming in and buying up farmland cheap, okay, from these farmers, because they're going to just give up, basically. And this is happening throughout America. Small business owners are finding themselves in a position where it's not profitable for them to run their business. So they just throw in the towel and just go back into the workforce. This is what they're talking about. So this is all Esau, man. But this right here is going to lead to a famine, okay? And famines don't just start overnight. A lot of times these things are engineered, okay, by the state. And this is what we're seeing. This is the story behind the story. All right. This is Hegelian dialectic: pressure from the above, pressure from below, pressure from beneath, pressure from above. Okay. Because on the ground, okay, you have the people that are farmers. They're just trying to make a living. Okay. But they're being pressured from above by the manufacturers and the owners and of the oligarchies and the monopolies that control electricity, fuel, pesticides, fertilizer, and seeds. Okay, they're basically making it so that these prices go up. Okay, and then wages are going down. So if you want to participate, you're going to make less money and you're going to pay more, basically just to make ends meet. It says, as farmers struggle under the weight of low prices, bulging stockpiles, and the wrath of Mother Nature, the Most High. The wrath of the Most High. Now I'm going to bring this scripture out. This is Job 12:9. It says, who knoweth not in all these that the hand of the Lord have wrought this? Hey, so you devils, man. See? The farmers are struggling under the weight of low prices, bulging stockpiles, and the wrath of the Most High, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is bringing them down. All right. So I'm going to read this again. It says, who knoweth not in all these that the hand of the Lord have wrought this? Okay. because what you're going through, the hand of the Lord is bringing this upon you. All right. It says grants acts, grains experts, and paid up subscription. Yada yada. What is okay? Now this right here says the flooding is currently a localized disaster for those producers in the areas affected. Can this become sufficiently widespread to have a true impact on the U.S. production of rural crops? The answer is a resounding yes, but it is too soon to make that statement. Early planting is a boon to yield and give relatively depressed prices. It is easy to imagine farmers making extensive use of crop insurance policies if things get very late. I think we need to revisit the 2.5 week to see how conditions have changed as snow melt and runoff, rain or lack thereof play themselves out over this period. All right, so it's a wait and see mentality. All right, insurance companies, all right, are involved in this too. They're gonna make a profit off of this. All right, whether it be through payouts or whatever. All right, so now it goes into Moab. That's why I wanted to bring Isaiah 16 out real quick. But it goes into Moab. And guess what? All right, the swine, okay? The swine is a commodity, A pig is worth something, but people eat the pig. All right, but the pig is supposed to be a waste management system in your farm, okay? It says one farm commodity that has decisively broken higher is hogs. The emergence of African swine fever in China has led to the culling of an estimated 100 million hogs, a figure that compares to the U.S. inventory of 74.3 million hogs as of the first quarter. So the hog business is a huge business in America. Okay, that's why a lot of you jakes, you eat pork. All right, that's a multi-billion dollar industry. All right, in the United States, okay, they're heavy in this hog business. All right, now in the land of Moab, which represents you Chinese, what emerged over there is the African swine fever. It says led to the culling of an estimated 100 million hogs. Okay, it says that sudden shortage of Chinese supply has spurred a major change in the world's fundamentals. Alan Suter, chief commodities analyst, okay, estimated that the hog feeding in China is down by more than 30%, while some estimates coming out of China are much higher than that. The Farm Journal, 30.1, whatever. Okay, but I'm gonna read down. It says China will be increasingly aggressive buying of pork around the world, yet is not the only place experiencing the spread of the particular disease. China is restricting imports from Vietnam to try to preclude a more aggressive disease spread. Hey man, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's not Esau, okay, behind the spread of these different diseases, all right, that hit animals, okay, throughout the earth, man. Because look, man, Esau, this is war for Esau. Esau is the man of the sword, all right. Esau is the man of the sword, and he will do whatever it takes to stay in power, all right. But this is let me bring this out. This is 2nd Ezra 15:1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." And that's what the Lord is bringing upon the earth. That's why I read in Job 12:9, it says, "Who knoweth not in all these that hand the hand of the Lord have wrought this. Okay, because the Lord have brought this. He's fulfilling his word. He said he's going to bring plagues upon the earth, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And I just showed you the American farmers, they're not making enough money to make ends meet and sustain themselves. All right, a lot of these farmers are going to start selling their farms to the major corporation. And the major corporations are going to buy their farms for cheap, and they're going to plant their genetically modified food, all right, on those lands, It's going to be a famine. And you're going to have a famine. And this is engineered by Esau, all right, the devil that the Bible speaks of, all right. So the Lord said he's going to bring plagues, all right, sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right, why? Because of the wickedness. It have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So the Lord have appointed Esau a certain time, all right, and he's not going to be able to get out of that time. And a part of his downfall, his calamity, his destruction is that he's going to have famine in his land. All right, which leads me to Isaiah, the 16th chapter. Now, this is a good chapter. It talks about Moab. Now, let me read up. I'm going to read up real quick. I'm going to read Isaiah 16:4. It says, "Let my outcast dwell with thee, Moab. Be thou a covert to them from the face of the spoiler, for the extortioner is at an end. The spoiler ceaseth, the oppressors are consumed out of the land. And in mercy shall the throne be established." Whose throne? The throne of the Heavenly Father. "And he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David." And who's going to sit upon it in truth? All right, in a tabernacle of David. All right, Yahweh Shah. All right. It says, "Judging and seeking judgment and hastening righteousness. We have heard of the pride of Moab. He is very proud, even of his haughtiness and his pride and his wrath, but his lies shall not be so." Hey, we know who Moab is, all right, and we've heard the pride of Moab. Hey, because the Most High is going to jack Moab up too, man. All right, they're not going to get out of the destruction, but the Most High is going to use Moab, all right, and the so-called Russians, all right, and the Elamites, okay, that have nuclear capabilities. They're going to shoot it on this western side of this hemisphere. All right. Verse 7, it says, "Therefore shall Moab howl for Moab, everyone shall howl for the foundations of Kir Hareseth shall ye mourn, surely they are stricken." Because why? There's going to be a plague, through the swine, okay? That's just like it says in this article. You talk about the swine, particular disease. They're going to have disease popping up where, look, Moab is going to, basically, they're going to be getting sick, all right, and all types of stuff. And the thing about it is, basically, Moab was nothing but Esau used Moab as a test for their so-called New World Order, okay, because they have the complete, those people over there in subjection. They have them subject to all types of systems, okay, where they, facial recognition and surveillance and all of that stuff. So they're nothing but a test model for the New World Order, okay? It says, "Therefore shall Moab howl for Moab, everyone shall howl for the foundations of Kir Hareseth shall ye mourn, surely they shall be stricken, for the fields of Heshbon languish, and the vine of Sibmah, the lords of the heathen have broken down the principal plants thereof. They are come even unto Jazer, they wandered through the wilderness, her branches are stretched out, they are gone over the sea. Therefore I will bewail with the weeping of Jazer, the vine of Sibmah. I will water thee with my tears, O Heshbon, and Eli for the shouting for thy summer fruits, and for thy harvest is fallen." All right, and that's what's happening in America, okay? Because their harvest is going to completely fallen. And let's look up the word fallen. All right, because it says, for thy summer fruits and for thy harvest is fallen. All right. And the word for fallen, that word is Nepal. All right. That word is Nepal. And Nepal means to fall, lie, be cast down, fail. Okay. Let me see. Let me go down here real quick. It says be judged. One of them says be judged. Yeah, man. Because the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Al Shah, all right, is who knoweth not in all these that the hand of the Lord have wrought this. Because the Lord is going to cut off the food over here. It's going to be a famine, all right, in Babylon the Great. So, with that, Lord's will, brothers, was edified. I brought out some information. Hey, but these things about to come, they're going to take place because the Lord at his hand, all right, he's going to bring these things. So, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Barakatah, Barakathum to you, Akim, all right, out here that pushing his word in truth and sincerity. All right, the water Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, call Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, Bashim Rakak Wadash. All right, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation, Shalom.